Hello everyone, let's get right into this video. So I'm excited to bring you guys a updated rose quartz video that includes real rose quartz encapsulated in the nail. So I have tried to perfect and improve on rose quartz and crystal inspired nails over the years. This set is a really old set if you can't tell. There is a tutorial here and it glows. There's a tutorial here on YouTube, so it's pretty cool. And it's done with acrylic. So if you're an acrylic fan, you want to see me work with acrylic like 6 years ago, definitely watch that video. Look at this amethyst set. These aren't in chronological order, but I have tried to improve on these techniques to bring out really more realistic aspects. That opal set was beautiful. It actually used real opal. This is an orange calcite inspired set, with and without the bling. Really highly detailed. Another amethyst set. This is just kind of quartz crystal inspired. And then there's this set, this jade or green calcite set. Oh, I have intimidated myself with this, and it doesn't help that it has over 1 million views. So thank you guys. And this rose quartz video is on its way to 1 million as well. So I have been slightly intimidated by those numbers, and that's just an example of a person getting in the way of themselves. So take note, don't do that. So I want to improve upon these techniques and make this look much more realistic, kind of how that jade or green calcite set looked. Like, let's kind of approach this and see what makes it look like what it is. And I say that often. So we're using reference points of actual rose quartz. I have a tower in person. And then of course you can look at pictures online. So this is my client, aka my mom. This is her previous set after 3 weeks old. I'm using the speedy bit from Elegance. I generally use this between 30 35,000 RPMs, very, very fast. I wouldn't use it at any less than probably 25,000 RPMs. That's me, in my opinion, for getting the best use out of the aggressiveness of the bit. Let's turn it up. It's gonna glide over the nail more so like butter. So I'm just going in and taking off the design. This set was challenging. It looks simple, as challenging for me to do, specifically because me and swirls and curves, we can only curve to a certain degree until it gets spooky for me. So this set was really fun. It's with a pigment. I used white, shades of gray, and it was inspired. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but follow me on Instagram and you can get more information about a lot of nails that I don't post here, or don't post full tutorials for. If you just want to see what I'm up to, what I'm creating, follow me, tabithascott_nails over there on Instagram. So nothing too crazy major here, just taking off that previous design. And then once we take the design off all the nails, on these two nails specifically, we're going to go ahead and file them down even lower. These are the nails that we're going to be doing the rose quartz design. These nails we're going to be filing basically all the product off because we're going to have to encapsulate so much. And we only chose to do these 2 fingers on each hand because of the amount of detail that I wanted to put in the nail. So as I'm getting closer to the natural nail, I'm going to go down in aggressiveness with the bit. So of course this is sped up and it's edited. So I used that speedy bit until we got to a much thinner point. And now I'm using a smooth top ceramic bit in a medium grit just to kind of get this product even lower and lower. And as mentioned, we're going to go down in aggressiveness the thinner the product gets. So now you can see I'm using a crosscut bit, and I'll use it at a higher speed at about 12,000 RPMs, again, just to debulk that product. And you see we'll start to get product. One, my mother notoriously over the years has problems lifting on that pointer finger. She's done so much better in recent times with moving to gel and being more intentional with priming. But then once you get it to a certain point of thinness, that product just kind of flakes off as well, even if it wasn't lifting. So once I felt like we got to a really good thin point, we can go over it with the hand file as well. I'm going to go in and do my prep. I use the Cutie Patootie bit from Elegance. And then I'm also using, I believe this is called the Itty Bitty bit, but a skiver style bit. If you're shopping like with Atwood or anything like that, a narrow diamond bit, a medium grit is generally good. And then this is the Buffy bit from Elegance again. This is a place where you can use a ball bit as well. And don't be afraid to use these bits in both forward and reverse, no matter if you're left-handed, right-handed. Try it in both directions because the skin, you know, doesn't just grow geometrically in one direction, and it isn't going to flake off that way. So let's approach it from different angles, but let's keep it on a slower speed, 6,000 to 8,000 RPMs, maybe 9,000 when we're on that natural nail surface. So I cleansed the nail, dehydrated it and everything. Then I'm using Elegance's Tack as my primer. So I make sure that's fully covered on the nail, on that natural nail, and over that thin layer of enhancement because we want to make sure everything sticks very well. So I am using a variety of products here, a wide variety. I'm just going to show them. Some of these things I do use, some of them I don't use. I literally showed you guys everything. And I can tell you that I do use that. The soft pink, I didn't use, but I just want to show you guys that I'm just pulling stuff. This is Floridora from Daily Charm. You can see I have the art ink, the marble tints. I do use those while I try to use that white marble ink. I have from Lily Nails that base peach. I got the brown watercolor art ink from Daily Charm. I was going to use this watercolor. Didn't work out. I'm just showing you guys to just show you kind of how I was going about it. This is the Maniology stamping polish. It's in white, really a regular polish I definitely use. And this variety of brushes is what I had on hand. So I also use with this ring, this is a beautiful glitter to use. It matches that kind of shimmer. It's not silver, it's more so white and transparent, pearlescent, and it matches that shimmer that you get in rose quartz. So this is our actual rose quartz pieces, and a lady sent me these, but you can definitely get them off Etsy, anything like that. Just find little pieces of rose quartz. I have some crystal quartz as well, a variety of colors, just to sum that up. So you can look on Etsy. I'll try to link the lady below that sent me those. I'm not sure if she sells those pieces loose, but she does amazing crystal work, nothing to do with nails. So I would love to link her down below either way. So check it out down below. So you can see what I started off with, a very thin base of product, just so we have something adhered to that tack. So then I'm going in with this brown color, and this really is going to change a lot here. This little addition of this brown really changes this rose quartz. So if anything, if you want to kind of up it and make it a little more realistic, I would say don't be afraid to mix these tones, not just stick to a light fair pink. Because you can see later in the process, I have that sheer deeper red. And this is a transparent, Why So Sweet, a transparent pink from Elegance or P+. I just pulled this out and the clear cool gel because we're going to need to encapsulate. So I use that cool gel also as a base to hold this piece of rose quartz. And my mom, she separated them all out for me, and I thought I was going to use a lot. These were a little bit thicker, so they could really only go towards the center of the nail. And I honestly don't do this. I did not try this out in advance, so be better than me. And I'm curing in between these layers, guys. This literally took me an hour and 40 minutes. No, I think a little 2 hours and a little, yeah. This took me 2 hours to do these 4 nails, 2 nails on each hand. So you guys, I recorded these. So I placed that piece of rose quartz with that cool gel and I cured it. I went and matted the nail down. Now, the reason I matted it down is so I can manipulate this white a little more easily and strategically, and I don't have to worry about that previous tacky layer interfering with me blending out these more pronounced veins. So there's some things, again, with that first rose quartz set and those other, amethyst and other quartz inspired sets that I'm taking, and that's, giving those major veins and making sure they're ombre. So what we're looking is for a line that is essentially like you've seen ombre, where it's more bright white and then it kind of fades out, if you will. So back it up about 20 seconds ago, you can see what I mean. But you'll see that repeat throughout the variety of tutorials. It's just, you can go about it a different variety of ways, but I, just take the brush and kind of fan it out and ombre it. So now I'm taking that darker pink, as you can see, and I'm adding it, haphazardly, and I'm also using it again on the opposite side. You can see me right here, the opposite side of that vein on the bright side. You see how it goes from more pigmented towards the left, and then it fades white to the right, and then I use that darker pink to bump up against it, and it enhances that line. And what it does is it makes that look like it's raised up, and then that dark side is going down, if you will. And it adds that variety of dimension. So I'm just going in and layering these light pinks on the nail, and you can see this color here. This is that Lily Nails Peach Builder. And so I'm adding some more, again, just not light pink tones, some of that deeper colors, some of that peachy colors, just to help bring that brown and enhance that. Looking at actual rose quartz pieces, because again, I put them in the center of the nail. I committed to however this was going to look. So you guys, at this point, I'm winging it. I have some intention with how I want to enhance the veining and the depth, but me with this piece of rose quartz in the center of the nail, this is a wing move. It's all wing stop at this point. So regular white polish is a must to me. Or you can use the white ink as well. There's a variety of brands, and I know they'll perform differently. For this set and in the mood of winging I was in, the white marble ink from Daily Charm didn't really do what I wanted it to do. So Old Faithful, a regular polish, and acetone to manipulate it. That's all that's going on here. And so I'm adding some more details, some little finer lines, and I'm letting that white, as you can see, I'm blending it out with that acetone and letting it get really transparent. And you can just see how I'm manipulating it. I don't want any brush strokes. So I'm just making sure I'm not doing anything with brush strokes. So now I'm taking a color that's white mixed with a light pink, well, mixed with pink to make a light pink. And I'm just adding this again randomly over the nail just to make some of that cloudiness that you'll see in rose quartz. So past this, I'm using With This Ring, which is that pearlescent sparkly color. I put some pieces of that just randomly on the nail, and that's going to add, you're going to see that up close. So that's just for you and the client to know mostly, but it makes it look way much more realistic. Add some more pieces of that dark pink, again, just to bring some more depth of color up to the surface more and add those layers. Again, we're curing in between each of these applications. This is an intense technique. I know it. And again, these 4 nails took me 2 hours. Is it worth it? I don't know. But I want to show you because you can take this technique and, take certain aspects of it. It may not go this deep in this many layers. So I'm showing you I'm working on my little swatch palette card and how I'm mixing that shagadelic transparent kind of burgundy color with the white. And I'm taking my little fine brush. This is the swirly brush from Elegance. And we do not want the lines that thick. We want these really, really fine lines. So with a lighter, finer touch, I'm working over a matted surface, as you can see, because I don't want, again, that tacky layer to throw off and get in the way of me making these fine lines. So I matted it out, and I use the Daily Charm Velvet Matte. You can use discount code Tabitha10 for Daily Charm. It's an unlimited discount code. You can use it over and over and over again. You just can't combine it with sales, but, Tabitha10. So don't forget to use that. And you can see I'm manually going in and adding this cracking detail and this veining. With this part, the most important elements to me with making this look like a thing is, one, tempering that color, not just using a stark white. So mixing that burgundy with that white to get this kind of medium light pink really helps this look a little bit more realistic. A really fine brush and a light touch, and try not to curve these lines. This was a mistake I made in previous sets and earlier on. Try to keep these little fine lines straight. They can be small and make them straight. And then that'll make it look way more realistic. So then I've been using this brush and mysteriously just polishing on either extreme pink or baby pink or that P plus Why So Sweet color. So a sheer pink just kind of helps temper this down and just adds more depth. So layers and layers and layers on these nails. And we want to make sure each layer is as thin as possible so that we can encapsulate this, especially because we have this chunk of rose quartz in the center. And I do want to talk about that. I'm encapsulating with Cool Gel, just so you know. With that piece of rose quartz, I was looking to incorporate it with the rest of the design. So I added some veining next to it and around it and kind of played with the actual piece of rose quartz. You can see with the one on the left, I outlined it a little bit just to make it look like its own little piece of depth, if you will. In color, or you know, it may look like it's deeper in the nail, I'm not sure, but just to make sure it plays well and looks like it's part of the design. And if you didn't know it was there, I feel like it does really enhance it, and it brings some of the natural colors. And it was actually a source of inspiration. I'm like looking at this piece of real world rose quartz in the nail, and I'm like, okay, let me add some elements to the rest of this nail that kind of mimics it. So I filled in the other nails. We're not too much here about those nails. So, you know, I just did a refill with those. I used Ideal Pink, I believe Ideal Pink 1 Step, in order to refill the rest of the nails. So like I said, I encapsulated this with Cool Gel. I shaped the nail, and now I'm finished filing the nail. So look at this cute container. This is from Daily Charm. I just wanted to show you guys. My mom organized it while she was there, and I was like, let me show the people how cool this is. You see how it slides open. It's magnetic. Again, use the Daily Charm code. I'm using the Opera Air machine to do the ombre, and I'm using the white because at this point, who has time to manufacture a full baby boomer on these nails, these other nails? So you can see we're file and shaped. I spray with alcohol and dust it off. And I didn't mention the rose quartz nails. Like I said, I finished filed them and used my cross-cut bit just to leave a nice buff surface that's not too smooth and not too rough. So I matted these other nails out that I was going to airbrush, just so that airbrush applies more evenly. And I kind of didn't do my best here, but again, we're here for the rose quartz, right? This is just a bonus Jonas, this part. So I get my airbrush on and that gel, the Opera Air gel, airbrush paint is a gel. So we cure that in the light, get it together. And once that's cured, top coated it. I'm using Protein Bond, and I'm just applying it over the surface of our rose quartz. I feel like when you apply a top coat over the Protein Bond, it makes it look so much better to me. Just those fine little details and striations. At least in my head, I told myself that. In the worst case scenario, it just ensures your top coat doesn't pull away and doesn't pull off or peel off, if you will. So I'm using my preferred no wipe top coat. We applied crystals. Again, we're here for the rose quartz. We applied a little boom boom crystals because this set was inspired by this set at the beginning of the video. Look at that, you guys. Look at all the detail. And when you're doing these, like I said, try not to make these look too like a pattern. Don't just make X's. I see people do rose quartz and they're just like creating X's. Like, okay, don't make the lines go the same way. Well, don't just only make X's. on the nail. Like, do some vertical lines, some horizontal lines, something at one angle, something at the same angle but further down the nail. And this is what I was trying to go for, but in rose quartz. I mean, not literally this, but this type of detail. This has just overwhelmed me with trying to achieve something this good with rose quartz. And I think I'm going to let it be. Look at that. I feel like I did it. I'm bowing. I'm standing here doing my voiceover, and I've bowed to myself because I feel like that detail is there. Rose quartz is subtle. So overall, this is a subtle look, but look at that detail. You guys, put me a rose in the comments or a little diamond emoji. Put that rose or diamond emoji, please, please. I worked real hard to put this video up to even try this again. So I used the pixies on the other nails. We blinged them out. Again, we're here for the quartz. I've, shown bling and things like that on the channel multiple times. I just wanted to update you guys. Look at that real rose quartz in there, that depth. When I told my mother I wanted to do rose quartz, I want to make sure that, it has some color to it, that it's not just a light, soft pink. So I want to make sure that I did add some depth. There are versions of rose quartz that do bring in those darker colors, so I just wanted to add that. So you guys, don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, and watch the other quartz videos. I'll put them here on the end screen, and I thank you for watching. Thank you so much. Bye.